I just finished The Wheel of Time and I get it now. What started as a simple journey turned into something way bigger. A full transformation, not just the world, but the characters themselves. By the end, it didn't feel like I was following the same people I met at the beginning. This wasn't just a story, it was a coming of age on a scale that I could not have expected, and I am extremely happy that I have started this story, and I can't wait to see what happens in book 2. It is taking me everything in my power to not go grab book 2, but let's do this review. Before we get into my review, last night I was one chapter away. I just finished like the big chapter that if you've read the book you know about. I'm gonna show you my raw reaction to that right now. What the? I don't understand how this book got so good. I got one chapter left, and it's 11 o'clock at night. There's no way I can read this last chapter. And it does seem like all the craziness, I believe, has died down. But this book, if you have not read it, I just finished chapter 52. I'm on chapter 53. And this may be one of the best times I've ever had. It just is so, I just want to say it's so good, but that's just not the right word. It's not like great. It's better. It's like transcendent. It's like I don't even know. Everything I thought I knew, I don't know. And everything that I don't know, I want to know. Now I'm mad at myself. Now I'm mad, right? Because it's 11 o'clock on a Sunday. I have to work in the morning. I want to finish the book. But if I had just taken the time throughout the week to actually read, instead of being satisfied that I got the 500 pages, and then taking a couple days off, and then deciding to pick it back up this morning, and now I'm at the point where, but I can't stay up. I need to go to sleep, but I want to finish the book. But I also want to start a second book, which I picked up today. Shout out to my wife for dropping me off at Barnes & Noble so I could get it. Man, this is so good. Like, what if the series never gets better than the first book? Like, that's an actual fear that I have now, is that I'm about to read 12 more books based off of this book, and it just doesn't get better because this book is so good. I will finish this book tomorrow. That is a 100% fact, and then I will do an actual review and give you guys my full breakdown of everything. Let's go. You will definitely benefit from marking up your book, tabbing it, highlighting things. It just is it's a huge story. It's massive. And even though this story was a complete story, your relationship with the characters really feels like it's just beginning because the characters just evolve so much in this book. It's on a scale that I just can't even like really properly put into words. I've never read anything like this, and I've just been extremely excited about reading book 2. For my rating for book 1, we're going a 4.4 out of 5. I think I started with too high of a rating. 1, it was really good to start, but I think I should have started somewhere around a 3.8. I didn't want to upset people with my ranking, so I started at like a 4.2 or something like that. I've slowly bumped it up, but I don't want to like oversell it. Like, it's really good, and it's one of the best stories I've ever read, but I always like to leave room for even better. This being book 1 of the series, I don't want to just pigeonhole it into this is a 5 when book 6 or 9 could be a 5. So we're starting off at a very modest level of 4.4. All right, let's take a look at my updated trust rankings. So I only did 10. I could have added some more characters in here, but I feel like 10 is a good solid number, and I don't have to go into some more ancillary characters. I can keep it at 10. In the last part of the story, you don't meet Tom again, but you get, it's alluded to that he's still alive and he didn't die. So we're putting number 10, we're putting Tom, because if Tom's alive and we have a chance to meet him again, we're going to try and keep him on the list. Number 9, we have Matt. Matt really should be below Tom because Matt is on a whole nother level of crazy that we're just not sure if Matt's okay. He should have never stole that dagger, and that dagger's tainting him, and we're just a little upset with Matt. We're just like not seeing eye to eye with Matt. Matt's a little crazy for us, a little cray. Next, we got number 8, Moraine. She's, like I said, her actions have always said that she is doing what is best. However, at the end of the book, I know she's the only one that understands what's going on, but it feels like she is not giving the praise to Rand on what he was able to accomplish. And I get maybe she's a little bit scared and afraid, and she doesn't, I don't know. I just don't trust Moraine 100%. Even after getting us all the way there and like kind of being the voice of like what we need to do and what we need to accomplish throughout book 1, Moraine has not done enough, in my opinion, to completely make me look past this like uneasy feeling I get about her and maybe what her intentions are. The next person on this list, number 7, is Egwene. One thing that when I got to this list, I really wanted to put Nynaeve on in this area as well. R.I.P. Nynaeve. It almost was shocking too. Like that part of the story was so like crazy, and there was so much happening, and like you never get real resolve from her death. She dies in the last chapter or the chapter before the last chapter, and then it's like not even spoken of in the final chapter. So I really hope that they talk about the Green Man in the last chapter, who is a character you weren't with the whole time, but then you just leave. Like nobody brings up Nynaeve, like unless I missed it. Maybe she's still alive. I guess I could be wrong, but I guess the way I understood it is she died to the Dark One, and now she's dead. I don't know. That was just very weird. Back to Egwene. Egwene, I feel like she's good, just like Rand is good. Not too high, not too low on her. She's just somewhere in the middle. I just trust her a little bit less because of her decision making. I'm not sure if she almost feels a little power hungry, like she really wants to be an Aes Sedai. I don't know what her motives for really wanting to be that are, and that causes me to have her a little bit lower on the list. 6 is Rand. Rand is obviously the main character. I did not like it. Kind of was alluded to at the very beginning that he was going to be the dragon. He's the main character you're following, but it could have been Perrin, it could have been Matt. Like, and that's one thing this book didn't do a great job of. Is it said that these 3 boys are Ta'Veren, Ta'Velen, like the wheel, or like the wheel weaves, the pattern weaves itself around these 3 boys, but then it really like focused on Rand at the end, and you don't see what was the impact of Perrin and Matt in the final chapter. I feel like we built up to all this stuff, and we built like this huge mound, right? And then we just couldn't deliver on everything, so we just picked, like, this is the thing we're going to deliver on. And I'm hoping that we revisit some of these things in the other books to kind of come back and expand on each of these characters. And maybe we get one from a parent's perspective going forward. I mean, the next one's called The Great Hunt, and there is like a wolf on the cover. So maybe that one will be focused around Perrin, and we can kind of see how he fits into this and what he ultimately is and how he impacts this world and this story, because I think that there's more to be said for both of those boys, Matt and Perrin, but we really only got it focused on Rand for most of this story. Next, we got Min. Her prophecy has been like really pivotal on the story, and we'll do a prophecy review as well. So I put Min in here because we do trust her prophecies. Enough of those have come true to where we need to keep that in the back of our mind going into book 2, because I think some of these things are going to linger into that story as well. 4, we have Perrin. I just like the moral compass of really the top 2 characters in Perrin. I feel like they all kind of have the same moral compass, and that's really why they are so high up on the list. So Perrin's at number 4. Number 3, we got the main attraction, Bella the horse. And you did learn a little cool story about Bella in that first night when they were riding on their horses, and Bella was not tired. it was because Rand was healing Bella. That's like full circle moment. Like, it was crazy to me. Like, I never even like thought that was a possibility. Like, I just thought Bella was a boss, but really it was Rand being a boss and Bella also being a boss. But next we got Lan. We found out a little bit more about Lan's history. And I no longer believe that Lan and Rand are related in any way, but I do think that he stands for the right stuff. You found out that he's supposed to actually be a king of the 7 towers. He's kind of seen as a god to this area of the world, and even though he's seen like that to this area of the world, he still feels obligated to perform duties to the things that he holds to his, like, close to his person, his moral compass. He feels obligated to fulfill the duties in which he's sworn his sword. Lan is solid dude. Number 1 is actually a new character we don't really meet until the very end of the story, but it is Laurel. Laurel is like the Ogier who is kind of coming along on this journey and leads them through the ways and gets them and meets the Green Man and kind of like helps you piece together this world as you're going through it, because he's got all this wisdom. Even though he's a young Ogier, he's still got all this wisdom, and he has all this knowledge about how the world and the time and the wheel all work together in the pattern, and he knows of the old ways. Even though he's a younger Ogier, he's still, hundreds of years old or thousands of years old, however their age thing work. Yeah, that was the trust rankings to finish the book. I like where they're at right now, but I do again want to expand some of these characters more, especially Perrin and Matt and Egwene. I kind of want to learn I want them each to have their own kind of book so we can see them evolve, or at least they can kind of grow in these next books, because we really got focused on Rand. And yes, we know Rand is now the Dragon Reborn. At least that's what it was kind of alluded to at the end. I would like to see if it's not just one dragon, it's 3 dragons, or how they all work together to ultimately become some cool fighting force or whatever it may be. I'm just along for the ride. Now looking at Min's prophecy, doing a bit of a review there. We got Lan. His prophecies are both complete, I believe. So the first one was the 7 ruined towers. I think we learned what that is. Him being the king of the 7 ruined towers. That's a check. Then we learned about him being a baby in a cradle and he was given a sword right away. So I believe that one is also checked. Next we got Tom. I actually unchecked both of these. So a man juggling fire, I think that's still to come. It could have been the place where he died. That could have been reference to that. It could have been something to do with Balzamon. I'm not sure, but I'm just going to leave it unchecked for now. And then the other one is White Tower. We have not even been to the White Tower yet. So again, I don't think Tom has been fulfilled. So even more to support that Tom is alive. Next, we got Perrin. Wolves, check. Broken Crown. We really haven't heard too much about Broken Crown. I thought it was that one king statue that was toppled over, but the fact that I think that some of these could be rolled over into the next books, I'm going to leave that one unchecked. And then we got Tree Flowering. Again, could be something to do with the Green Man at the end, but I don't think that would just be a Perrin only prophecy. I think it would have to do with more people than just him. We did have Matt. I didn't call out Matt's on the last one, but let me pull it up real quick. Go to this prophecy. Let's see. Again, tab your books. Super helpful. Matt, a red eagle. I don't recall a red eagle being a thing. The eye of a balanced scale. We don't really have anything to go with that. A dagger with a ruby, we know. A horn, we did see the horn at the end, so maybe Matt is going to have something to do with the horn going forward. So, in a laughing face, we saw the one dude with the laughing face at the end, but I don't think Matt did anything with that one. So I'm just going to leave the laughing face, the horn, and the scale and the Red Eagle are all pretty much unfulfilled. This is why I think the next books are really going to start exploring these prophecies even more. So we're going to need this with us going into book 2. And then Rand, a sword that's not a sword. I thought it was the Heronmark sword, but that's an actual sword. Turns out it's a sword of lightning that he's gonna kill the Dark One with. That was so dope. My mind is still blown after that whole thing. It was just crazy. Golden Crown of Leaves. We didn't really see that. I mean, maybe when he fell over the wall and was talking to the queen and the kids in that one scene, but I don't think that really was a Golden Crown of Leaves. I feel like that was just like an intro. So maybe that's something in the future. A beggar staff. We did have the beggar guy chasing him around in Camden, and that's ultimately what led him to falling over the wall. Pouring water on sand. Didn't really see anything like that. Bloody hand and white hot iron. I thought that I saw that, but I don't think I did. I think that was a different character, like Naive or somebody else had held something that was white hot, and it was like, I thought it was a connection, and I was like trying to stop, but I didn't. I don't think it actually, when I reread it, I don't think it actually made sense for Rand. 3 women at a funeral. Again, doesn't add up quite yet. A black rock wet with blood. Again, doesn't add up. We haven't seen that one yet. And then lightning all around him. Check, double check. So not only when he killed Goder, whatever that dude, that Reggie dude's name was in that one town, but also at the end when he was fighting the Dark One. He was able to wield lightning again while tapping into the one source. So those are all of the prophecies that we got to see if they were completed or not. Now onto my top 5 moments from the book in the order that I have ranked them. And there was a ton of moments. In the second part alone, there was 10 separate things. In the first part, I think I had like 6 or 7. And in this last part, there was probably another 4 or 5 or 6 moments that could have all made this list. This is what I thought were the most important moments from, or maybe not the most important moments, but definitely the most memorable moments from the book. So coming in at number 6, the honorable mention, Rand saving Tam during the initial attack. So the very first time that the Trollocs attack, and Rand, killing one of the Trollocs, not knowing what he's doing with the sword at all, and then picking Tam up and carrying him, dragging him to Edmund's Field. I thought that moment was it has to be on this list. No matter what, that moment has to be a part of this list. Number 5, the Baerlon nightmare that the 3 boys shared. Again, it's just the imagery, the way that was written, the description of how he was thirsty and he was getting up in the middle of the night to find water, and then he looks for water, and then being tempted by the Dark One to drink the water, and then bending the rats' necks or backs backward and snapping them, and that whole just graphical scene was so well written. I just had to make the list. It had to. Number 4 was when the Goad guy, I think it's Goad, when Goad died from the lightning storm. I think that was like the first moment, like, oh shit, Rand might have these crazy powers. We need to know what's happening. We need to know how he did that. So I thought that was a super memorable moment. Number 3 was Laurel using the ways, because we didn't have any way for us to get out of the city. And then you find out that there's these secret passages that they could use, and Laurel just happened to be the Ogier that was there. And like, you kind of just buy into the happenstance of the moment. Like, yes, the wheel weaves as the wheel, whatever they say. The wheel weaves as the wheel turns, or something. The wheel turns as the wheel weaves, and the pattern. And you just kind of fall into like, yes, they just happen to be in the right moment at the right time, and they have the right person to get them through this gate and on these paths that they didn't know or people forgot even existed. And then from that, you find out that that's how the Trollocs have been moving around. That's how they've been kind of showing up unannounced all over the place. They've been springing traps on people because they've been using the ways. They figured out a way to do it. Number 2 was the separation at the river. I just think maybe not that moment specifically was so good, but like the impact on the story, all of these groups being divided up and going their separate ways, that moment was so impactful to the rest of the story. That's why it's at number 2. It was just like, oh shoot, what are they gonna do? How are they going to find themselves back together? How are they going to weave this all together? What are they going to learn on their individual journeys? And you saw the growth of each character a little bit in those journeys. So that's what really has me excited about Perrin and Mat, is you got a taste of their own independent or individualism in the story when they did that breakup. And then you even built up some characters like Moraine and Lan and Nynaeve, and kind of like that was a very impactful moment. Tom, you built up tons of ancillary pieces. You got introduced to Elias, I think that's his name, Elias, and you found out about Perrin being able to do stuff with wolves. It was just like a crazy moment that, ended up branching the story in a whole bunch of different ways and allowing it to come back and resolve in a really cool way. So that is why that is at number 2. And number 1 moment, you gotta do it. You gotta have it as the number 1 moment. I don't think you leave this book without believing that this is the number 1 moment, is when Rand defeated Belzamar. Because you just, in the back of your head, you thought he was gonna lose. You thought there was no way that this untrained person, doesn't know how to use his powers, doesn't even know what he's doing, is going to somehow harness the power in the correct way and, do any damage. You thought maybe he would survive it, but you never thought that he would kill him, or at least extremely damage the Dark One's ability. So yeah, that moment was just easily, bar none, the number 1 moment of the book. And it was the very end of the book, so it was a good resolve. Like, they did it. If I never read another book, if I never read another book, this book ended in a satisfying way, and I never feel like I was left on a cliffhanger. Like, yes, I do want to read the next one. I had to stop myself from just diving into the book because I wanted to come down here and share with you guys my thoughts on the whole book as a whole, and how amazing it was, and how awesome of an ending it was, and how each time I thought the book was getting to another level and couldn't get better, it just kept escalating and escalating and escalating. And I never thought that after, almost 740 pages, that I would be so connected to characters and yet feel like there's so much more to know about these characters that there's nothing else I could read next. There's not a single book in the world I could read next besides book 2 of this series. So shout out to Robert Jordan and what he was able to do with this book. And I'm excited to see where the story goes. And hopefully you guys are excited to go on this journey with me. And until the next one, love you so, so, so much. Peace.